Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we're diving into a filing that is a bit like a company's annual checkup. And let's just say this one has some interesting notes from the doctor. So what we have here is a current report, an 8K from MGE Energy Incorporated, which is essentially a public company that owns Madison Gas and Electric Company. Think of MG as the parent company and Madison Gas and Electric as its main business operation. This report is all about what is happening right now, any big news impacting the company. And what is the big news this time? They've posted a financial presentation on their website. Why is this important? Because it gives us a peek at how they're doing financially and what they're telling investors. The date on this report tells us it is current as of a very specific moment, back in November of 2025. Companies like this file these reports to keep everyone informed about any significant events that could affect their stock or business. Now let's talk about what is being traded. MGE Energy's common stock, which you can buy and sell on the Nasdaq stock market under the ticker symbol MGA, is what this SEC filing is primarily focused on. When we talk about financial reports, people always want to know about the money. So what is in this financial presentation that they've shared? Well, these presentations are usually a summary of the company's performance, often covering things like revenue, profits, and future outlook. This section, Regulation FD Disclosure, is important. Regulation Fair Disclosure means that when a company shares important information with investors, it has to make that information public to everyone, not just a select few. So by posting this presentation, they're making sure everyone has access to the same financial insights. They're also mentioning that representatives will be at an upcoming investor conference. This is a standard practice for companies to engage with their investors and financial analysts, discuss their performance, and answer questions about their business. The key takeaway here is Exhibit 99.1, which is the presentation itself. This is where the juicy financial details typically reside. While the specifics of the presentation aren't detailed in this 8K, we can infer it contains an update on their financial health. Companies usually use these presentations to highlight their achievements, explain their strategies, and provide guidance for the future. For investors, this is a chance to gauge the company's performance and make informed decisions. And who is signing off on this important update? Jenny L. Lagerwal, the Assistant Vice President of Accounting and Controller. This person is essentially the Chief Accounting Officer, meaning they're in charge of keeping the company's financial books in order and ensuring all reporting is accurate. Her signature signifies that the company stands behind the information being shared. Now, let's think about what this filing truly means. MGE Energy, through its subsidiary Madison Gas and Electric, is in the utility sector. These companies typically provide essential services like electricity and gas. Their financial performance is often tied to factors like customer demand, energy prices, regulatory policies, and investments in infrastructure. The fact that they're releasing a financial presentation suggests they have updates or news they want to share regarding their current standing and future plans. For a utility company, stability and predictable revenue are usually key. They often operate in regulated environments, meaning prices and services are overseen by government bodies like the Public Utilities Commission. This can provide a degree of certainty, but also limits flexibility. When looking at financial presentations, we'd typically want to see growth in earnings, steady or increasing customer numbers, and manageable debt levels. Any significant increases in costs like fuel or operational expenses without corresponding increases in revenue or approved rate hikes can put pressure on profitability. We need to look beyond just the numbers presented. What are the underlying trends? Are they investing in new energy sources like renewables, which can be costly upfront but offer long-term benefits and appeal to environmentally conscious investors and customers? Or are they heavily reliant on traditional energy sources, which might be facing regulatory challenges or fluctuating market prices? The presentation would likely touch on these strategic decisions. One area to always pay attention to with utility companies is their capital expenditures. They constantly need to maintain and upgrade their infrastructure, build new power plants, or invest in grid modernization. This requires significant funding, and how they finance these projects, whether through debt, equity, or operating cash flow, can greatly impact their financial health and shareholder returns. So while this 8K filing itself is brief, the attached financial presentation is where the real story is. It is the company's way of communicating its financial narrative to the market. We'd be looking for trends in revenue, operational efficiency, profitability margins, and any forward-looking statements about growth or challenges. If the presentation signals a strong financial position, it could mean more investment in infrastructure, potentially leading to improved services and a more stable company. Conversely, if it highlights financial pressures, It might mean challenges in maintaining services or a need for rate increases which could impact customers. Looking at MG Energy and Madison Gas and Electric, their core business is providing essential services. This generally leads to a more stable, though perhaps slower growing, business model compared to high-tech companies. The key for investors is how well they are managing their costs, adapting to regulatory changes, and investing in the future of energy. Are they embracing the shift towards cleaner energy? Are they able to pass on costs responsibly? These are the questions a deeper dive into their presentation would answer. Without the actual presentation numbers right here, it is hard to give exact figures. But the general implication of this filing is that MG Energy is giving investors an update, and for a company that provides a fundamental service, consistent performance and a clear strategy for the future are paramount. This filing, by referencing a financial presentation, is essentially inviting analysts and investors to take a closer look at the company's ongoing narrative. So, to wrap up, MG Energy Incorporated has filed a current report indicating they've released a financial presentation. This is their public communication about their financial status. For us, decoding this, it means there are likely important financial insights and strategic updates available a click away on their investor relations website. The overarching message is transparency and engagement with the financial community. What is your take on utility companies like MG Energy? Do you think their stability is a good thing, or do you prefer more dynamic growth? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more in-depth looks into corporate filings. Don't forget to join our Discord community to keep the conversation going. Link is in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next Decode.